inventions have changed the world.
Hello, and welcome back to Hitman 3 and the trending contracts. And today's contract, a fast death Whittleton, set in Whittleton Creek. And the contract ID is up on the screen now for anyone who wishes to have a go at it, and has been supplied to us today courtesy of Agent Mando. So on to today's briefing, short and sweet, good luck. So our targets for the day, of which we have 5, with no stipulations on how we dispatch them or what we wear whilst we do so. So we have a free map. So for today's challenge, we will be starting at the default starting location. We're going to have a silenced sniping rifle stored in the park shed. We're going to be bringing with us a silenced pistol and 2 lethal syringes. So, right from the start and off the bat, the first thing we're going to do is retrieve our sniping rifle from the shed here. And the aim of this particular contract is patience. A couple of our targets do act somewhat randomly, so rushing is not really an option. You really want to be patient and wait for the absolute perfect moment. So once we have our sniping rifle, we're going to make our way around to the creek. And just on the JCB here, we're going to find a crowbar. That will come in handy later on. We're then going to continue on towards the creek shed and duck in through the window at the back. We're going to collect up the propane cylinder and then head off towards the construction site. Now, we want to get there without triggering a conversation between a guard and a gardener. We will be heading right over to the far left. You want to get pretty much as close to the houses as you can so that you don't trigger the conversation between the cop and the gardener outside Janus's property. The cop is removing an explosive from the gardener. They're over there somewhere. As long as you do not trigger that conversation, the rest of this will be sweet. So once we get to the construction site, we're going to place our propane cylinder right there, and then we're going to move away around the construction site, and we're going to head over to Helen West's garden, where we will start sniping our propane cylinder. Now just be aware that the postman and one of our other targets, this will affect their routines, which is why patience is the virtue, because it could affect your run later on down the line. So we're going to take a shot at the propane cylinder, and then we're just going to wait for our target, the patrolling guard there, to return, and when he does, we can take our second shot. So that's one target down. We're just going to replace our sniping rifle there. We ain't finished with that just yet. We're going to head over to the construction site, over by the house here in the far corner. And we're going to prepare for our second kill, which will be the construction worker. So we're just going to make our way just into the bushes, just so that we're concealed. And again, this is where patience comes in. Unfortunately for me, I was waiting quite a while because the construction worker went and got the guard from Janus's house to retrieve a pistol. So we've had to wait a little while for him to move away. But once everybody has their backs to us, we can emerge from the bushes and jab our second target with our lethal syringe. We're then going to move away, and we're now going to go and set up our next kills, remembering of course not to trigger the conversation between the gardener and the guard outside Janus's house. So again, we're just going to hug the absolute outside edge of the map here until we get to the house with the boat outside. And in the garden of this house, we will find a second propane cylinder. So we're going to make our way around. This is a trespassing zone and there are a couple of guards in the garden. So we are going to crouch down as we go, but they shouldn't see us. They're not looking in this direction. So once we have the propane cylinder, we're going to vault over the fence to the house for sale and in through the bathroom window and make our way up the stairs, and we're just going to set up our sniper's nest. So once we get up the stairs, we want to turn left and go just along to the window in the corridor here. Just going to drop the propane cylinder, remove my sniping rifle from the briefcase and place it next to the briefcase. We're going to retrieve the propane cylinder and exit out the front door. Now, 2 of our targets will be heading this way shortly. There is a bit of a wait, but we can at least have the kills set up. So we're going to head to the bench over by the creek here and just place the propane cylinder in the center, and then we're going to make our way into the bushes just off to our right. There are our 2 approaching targets. They do take a while to get here. So we're going to make our way into the bushes over by the creek here. Now do not shoot the propane cylinder once to start it leaking, as somebody else does use that bench and they smoke. So they will detonate themselves. So eventually our postman will arrive and he is going to come over to these bushes and he is going to relieve himself by a rock, and we are going to lure him deeper into those bushes using the crowbar we collected earlier. So here comes Dale now, and he will stop just over by the rock that has just come into view, and when he does, we are going to throw the crowbar just off to the left. Once he's in position, throw the crowbar, select our silenced pistol, and when Dale goes over to investigate, we can quickly shoot him in the head. So that is 3 targets down with 2 to go. Now around about this time, the timing of the targets will not be exactly the same for you as it is for me, but roughly about this time, our next target will be coming over to sit on the park bench. Now don't be worried if he's already close by. He does sit there for a good minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. So we're just going to make our way back to our sniping rifle. Our target is just sitting down now. So we're going to take a shot at the propane cylinder. That will get our target's attention, but he will quickly lose interest and go back to searching Tinder. And when he does, we can then take our second shot at the propane cylinder. So that's 4 targets down, 1 more to go, and that will be the last guard all the way back at the construction site. So we are going to head over that way now. We're going to go around to the left from exiting the house, again so that we don't trigger the conversation between the guard and the gardener outside Janus's house. If you trigger that conversation, once it's played out, the guard will come to the construction site and will get in the way. He will complicate things. You can still do it, but it's just easier if he's not here. So once we get to the construction site, we're going to select our lethal syringe and we are going to approach the guard as long as none of the joggers are around and jab him with our needle. So with all of our targets eliminated, all we need to do is make good our escape, and the construction worker would have dropped a key to the nearby gate exit. So we're going to take that and leave. So there we go, one more trending contract taken care of. We're just going to get confirmation everybody has been eliminated according to plan, and though there wasn't really much of one. And we get our Silent Assassin rating. I have been Anubis, and I will see you all in the next video.